It's time for Track Talk on News Talk 1240 WHBU and the new 103.7 FM and on Muncie's Sports Station, 102.9 FM and 1340 AM. Here's Rick and Gary with Anderson Speedway's Track Talk.
Good evening. Welcome to Track Talk. Rick Dawson and Gary Mong.
You deserve that.
we are at the Mounds Mall Special Events Studio on a beautiful Tuesday
Oh my gosh,
evening.
it's great outside.
72 degrees. No, not much wind. It's just perfect.
On March 15th.
On March the 5th.
Who'd have thought?
The Ides of March.
Yes. They're good to us today.
Don't turn your back.
That's right.
We're going to talk to you for about a half hour about some racing stuff and about whatever else comes into our mind.
We do. We actually had similar weather this past Saturday. It was great.
We did. Had our first open
We
practice.
did.
You got your fixed.
We did.
You're not quite as giddy as you have been. 27 cars were in the pit Saturday night.
Great.
It was great. We had all sorts of cars.
Let's see, late models, street stocks, Thunder Roadsters, Legends, Kenyan Midgets.
Thunder cars, Pro Compact.
Yes. I mean, we had the whole gamut of them.
Gamut?
Well,
can you have a gamut
Can you have a
in the
gamut?
pits?
I guess we did. But everybody shook their cars down. They had a few of them had a couple issues, but other than that, nothing major happened out there. And looks like the guys are ready to go racing.
I walked down the pits a couple of times, but I spent most of the afternoon in the garage talking to Jack Neal.
Is he ready to get back at it too?
Oh yeah, I'm getting caught up on everything that's going on. But everybody out there is ready to go.
Yes.
The Kenyan midgets, especially, we had 7 of those in the pits. Don Kenyon was out there, and they'll have another big test session this weekend. It's not going to be quite as warm, but right now it's looking like it's going to be partly sunny. So
That's good.
And almost 50 degrees.
As long as that sun's out there, it doesn't feel too bad.
Yeah, and not much wind.
Right.
So, we've got 2 more practices before opening night, which will be a week from Saturday.
That's hard to believe.
I got to thinking walking in, I've got to get Jessica and Amy on getting our ads and everything because they start.
That's
Sunday.
right. That's right. We had a lot of our crew was there Saturday to come out there and help. And they all enjoyed the weather as well. They're all excited and ready to get going at it too. So we're ready.
We are.
We are, aren't you?
No.
No.
Doesn't seem like it. It's just non-stop and has been forever. I know folks get tired of hearing me say that, but it is.
It takes a lot.
Getting ready to
Sure
get
does.
the season open, and then on top of all that, you throw in one of the biggest events in Madison County
Yes.
with the Little 500, and you've got your hands full.
We talked about that Saturday evening after we got done practice and stuff, how much work there is just for that week, and a lot that still has to happen yet. So believe it or not, it's coming on us here in, 2 months?
Mm-hmm.
It'll be here.
Good news is I got word today, UAW GM has inked the contract for 2 more years.
Oh, wonderful.
With the Payless Little 500. Of course, Payless is there probably as long as we are.
Yes.
So
I think UAW has fallen in love with that race.
Oh, yeah. And it's a partnership between UAW and General Motors.
Yes.
So that's what's neat about the whole thing. And huge night planned the night before the race on Friday night with the March of Dimes benefit and all kinds of things going on the track, along with fireworks that night. So it's just going to be a huge week and a huge month of May.
Say if you got a motorhome or a camper, come out and spend the week with us because it's a lot of fun. A lot of stuff going on that whole week.
And you might even remember it.
Yeah.
We have a lot of fun out
We
there
do.
at the track, especially with the campers. It's kind of like a big family reunion
is.
for a week.
We see a lot of the ones that come back year after year and go back and visit with them. It's a lot of fun.
Speaking about practice again, I mean, like I said, I didn't get to see much of what was going on the racetrack. What did we have any incidents? Or I know we had a car that had a rear end lockup.
I think something we had nobody that actually hit the wall or had any types of wrecks like that. A couple of them had some motor issues, and I think you said one of them had the rear end lockup. But other than that, it was a pretty smooth day. So everybody was going out there and just seemed like they were just having a good time. They were ready to get back at it. You could just tell.
And everybody had plenty of time to practice.
Absolutely, yeah.
So going to do the same thing again this Saturday. Pit gates open at noon. Practice from 1 to 4. $17 a person in the pits. If you just want to come out and watch, you're more than welcome to come out. Don't cost you a thing. Set up in the pit bleachers. Big Joe's was out there last week, and they're going to be out there again this weekend, as far as I know. So come out and enjoy the day.
I have a feeling we're going to see more this weekend because as we get closer, some of the guys didn't have their cars quite ready yet for this past Saturday, but I think we're going to see more cars as we keep getting closer.
I do know we're going to have a lot more pro compacts because the Boers Compact Touring Series is it's an official tech day for them, so they're bringing their tech crew and all their drivers and everything will be there to get
good deal.
Get some technical things worked on, and then on March the 26th, a week from this Saturday, we have the McGonigal Engine late models, the Markham Welding Pro Compacts, Thunder Cars, and the Fast Carts.
Put Fast Carts on there.
All on opening night on the 26th. Actually, the Fast Carts are there 2 weeks in a row.
Okay.
We had something, and I forget what they called them out there. They're not flat carts, but they're sort of like flat carts. They're go-karts with
they had cages around
with
them.
Cages on them and seat belts, and they're also governored down a little bit.
They were, but I'll tell you what, they did a great job out there. It would be fun to watch them. They acted like they were much more, I don't say what the word is.
Mature on the racetrack.
Yes, that's great.
That?
Yes.
What a way to put words together.
Yes. They did. They would signal each other and stuff like that, so you could tell that they've all raced with each other and were very, very cautious, very safe out there on the track.
And young people too.
Yes.
I'm not real big on go-karts on the racetrack. The fast carts, we've let them do, and maybe we're working on some deals to maybe incorporate a quarter midget track and some flat carts, but we can't put the flat carts and the shifter carts and them fast ones on the oval. It's just too dangerous.
Right.
And they don't have seat belts, or it's just too dangerous for them, or cages.
Right.
But we may, since they did such a good job Saturday, and they'll probably be back out there again this weekend, may sneak in a couple races with these just to see.
I went back there after we were done and thanked them for coming and doing a good job out there. And I asked if they had a ball. They says, "We love it here." So yes, they liked it.
It's actually bigger than an Indianapolis Speedway or a Daytona to those carts even.
Yes, it is.
So.
It is.
It's neat to have them out. We're going to have a special guest join us here in just a few minutes, a familiar name that everybody knows, especially around here in racing and actually across the country. If he shows up at the racetrack, he's the one to beat. Aaron Pierce
He
is
sure
going to
is.
be on the show here shortly. So we'll be talking to him about what's going on with his season this year. It's something a little different for Aaron. He's already entered in the Payless Little 500, and he'll be at the Nibel Classic. But he's got something else new and pretty neat that he's going to be doing this year also. So
well, good.
That's pretty
good
cool.
to hear about that.
The Cup race, we'll talk about it after the break.
Okay.
I didn't see all of it. Actually, I turned it off before it was over.
I didn't see all, but I did see the finish.
You did see the finish?
Yes.
That was, again, kind of like Daytona. Was it the highlight of the race?
For the most part. Yes. But anyway, I don't know if anyone else in the area has started yet as far as like we're getting ready to start here March 26th. I know a lot of tracks in the Midwest will be starting up here pretty soon,
yeah.
But I think we're one of the first ones that gets
Speedrome Saturday shows the whole month of March, but I haven't paid any attention where they actually raced them yet.
I think they're just doing practice through the afternoons is what like we've been doing. I don't think they even open their season until like the 19th of April, something like that.
Word came through today through the internet, I believe, that I'm going to back up a little bit. If everybody doesn't know it, Columbus Motor Speedway over in Columbus, Ohio, which has been owned by the Knuckles family for years and years and years, have entered into agreement and have actually sold the Speedway to the city. They've been wanting that ground for years. So
that old Betts, is that what the name of it is, or something like that?
So this will be the last season for Columbus Speedway and the Knuckles family, and that's pretty good. And then let's see, there's some news on Ileana. That in regards to Illinois Motor Speedway, stating that they are not racing weekly. We are looking at all options, including the possibility of opening the track for a one-day event. So stay tuned. So it looks like Ileana Speedway up in the northern part of the state will possibly be closing also, which is not a good sign.
Wow.
We're going to be going fast and furious and strong at Anderson Speedway.
We are.
We stayed on top of it, and our work has paid off, and we're going to continue to work hard.
I think you made the comment a couple weeks ago on the show, Rick, about tracks that, like you said, you got to stay with the times, be ready for what the fans want. I think we provide such a variety of different racing at the track. I think that's what keeps us alive, keeps us well. And I don't think a lot of tracks are doing that, and I think that's maybe part of the reason why they are probably closing down.
It's not rocket science, but it's not just going to happen either.
Right.
You got to work at it. And
Yes.
You got to surround yourself with the right people, which I feel like I have done.
Yeah, we
we'll
try.
continue to increase and improve on what we do. We've done it this year with hiring Jared Owen, who's an intern. He's actually this will be his senior year at IUPUI, but he was an intern last year. Phenomenal mind for events and racing and what goes on at the Speedway, and he's going to be joining us pretty much full time.
That's great to
hear.
Real
shortly, so that's going to be pretty cool.
That's great to hear.
Talking about other events, they have another meeting tomorrow afternoon with the Ray Haroon Memorial Committee. That's an event that's going to take place on May the 1st. Right now, tentatively, and I don't think it's changed since we had our last meeting, they're going to have a big meal with speakers similar to what we had with Bob Carey last summer at the Flagship Center, and then there's going to be a procession leaving there over to Memorial Park Cemetery where Ray Haroon is actually buried, and they're going to dedicate a memorial plaque and
That'll be nice.
Everything for Ray Haroon. Don't know who Ray Haroon was. He won the very first Indianapolis 500. And
you were around during that.
He was an Anderson native. On the line with us now, live from, I'm assuming, Daleville, Indiana, is none other than Mr. Aaron Pierce. Aaron, how you doing this evening?
Hey, good. How you doing tonight, Rick?
Doing great. Hey, talking to you this afternoon, you got a lot of neat new things going on over there at the race shop.
Yeah, we've put a lot of work into our shop and trying to save ourselves some money. I know my dad likes that for sure.
Yeah.
But we put in our own dyno and doing some engines for some other people, and we built a pull down rig and got a nice surface plate, and just trying to get ahead of everybody as much as we can. So.
Well, let's backtrack a little bit into last year. You, if I'm not mistaken, you were the champion in the Auto Value Super Sprint Series.
Yeah, we won that series, and then we also won Davies King of the Wing Series.
Okay.
Had a really good year last year. We won 9 races, and had some. I think most of the other ones were top 5s, and a lot of our hard work's been paying off and been showing on the racetrack.
Well, around here, and we'll get into the other thing you're doing down south, what are you looking forward to as far as racing here in our area?
Well, I'm going to get my first experience at racing on a road course. I worked a lot of days at the Bob Underoff School out in Arizona, and I got a lot of track time and a lot of driving time, but I really never got the opportunity to race. And Chris Santucci from RE down in Memphis that Carl Edwards and Ricky Stenhouse and those guys drove for, put a word in for me to the guy that they're taking care of his road course stuff. And he really originally hired me to be a driver coach, and I really wasn't expecting to be able to race. I was just going to go down. He's got a new C6R Corvette race car, carbon fiber body, really high dollar piece, really nice piece that Santucci and those guys have put together at RE for him. And I went down there about 2 weeks ago and spent the whole week with the guys down there and and help them finish the car, and gave them some ideas that I thought they should be doing on shock stuff and springs, and ended up going to the racetrack. And I got to hang out with Larry Bailey, he owns the cars and he drives them. He's probably 55.
Young guy.
Super nice guy. Yeah, he's young. Yeah. I was just getting ready to say he's a young guy. But does that offend you, Rick?
Not at all. And it won't
you
be
should
long.
see the expression on his face.
It won't be long, buddy.
Oh yeah, I'm following you. That's why I'm saying young guy. So they say
There you go.
I'm going to be 42 March 28th. So
wow.
Oh man, to be 42 again.
But I got to meet these guys, and Larry owns a company that's called LSI, and they make all the testing machines that test elevator switchboards. So anytime you get on an elevator and you push the button to go to the 11th floor, and the lady comes on and tells you what floor you're on and all that, he makes a machine that tests the circuitry for that, the wiring. So he sells these machines to the elevator factories. Otis, which is used to be a drunk guy on Mayberry.
Yeah.
Yes.
I used to have people that would call me that at times, but they can't call me that anymore.
That's right.
But,
A couple of years now? We're getting close?
No, it's been about a year and 3 months.
That's great.
Good for you.
Since I've had a drink, and it shows a big difference on the racetrack, and all the guys notice it, and everybody notices it. So it's just something I have to do every day to keep up on it. But Larry is he makes this machine that you plug the elevator circuitry into, and you push start on the machine, and it goes through and it tests all the wiring, all the connectors, runs it through its floors and stages and fire alarms, and he makes a lot of stuff for brewing companies, for labelers, and just he's really into the automation part of assembly line stuff. It does stuff for paper mills, and I don't even know. I spent a week down there, and I just got a little hint of what they do. But
wow.
super smart guy. Done really good for himself, and I was lucky to get my name thrown into the hat to come down there and work with Larry. And he asked me after we went to the track at Memphis if I wanted to race, and of course I want to race. And so I'm going down there Friday as practice day, Saturday as a race, and it should be really cool. It's going to be a learning experience for me, and hopefully I can teach Larry some things while we're there. It's going to be a new track for me, so I'm going to have to learn the track before I can even help him, which that's going to be the hardest part for me. But I'd never been to Memphis to the road course either, and we were there for about an hour and a half, and I don't think Larry had too much faith in me until I started passing him. And then, he kind of was picking my brain about why I was doing what I was doing and where I was doing what I was doing. And I transferred that over into an informational thing for him, which is hard to do. It's hard to teach people how to race. And there's some people that I worked with at Bondurant that you just can't teach. I mean, you can't teach them. They either can do it or they can't.
Yep.
And it's a really cool opportunity for me. I appreciate what those guys are doing for me, and it's going to help me in everything else that I race.
Sure. Do they just primarily race at Memphis?
No, they race all over the country. They'll go to Mid-Ohio. They'll go to Memphis again. Bowling Greens this weekend. They go to Road America. They go to Texas. They run a lot of really cool tracks, and Larry is wanting to get better. He won his whole class last year. He got beat at one track, and I think that hurt his feelings.
Yeah. Well, we got a couple of minutes left. Tell us about, I know you haven't put away the little 500 car.
No, we've been polishing and rubbing on it a little bit, and we're still waiting on you to let us run a clutch and a starter again. But evidently we can't do that this year. But looking forward to that, and we're just kind of trying to make sure that it makes 500 laps, and to make sure that I can make 500 laps. It's always been an issue of me being impatient or doing something stupid that cost us at least a finish, and anytime we've ever finished, we've ran in the top 5 or finished second. And
and you've watched that race from the infield too many times.
That's right.
Yeah, and that's why last year I was like, look, guys, it's been a long time since we've finished this. Let's fix this thing, and I want to finish. I don't care where we finish. Let's finish it.
Yeah.
So we fixed it last year in about 35 or 45 minutes, and that car was really tore up, and it was fast after we fixed it. And we didn't have time to measure anything or do anything with it, but I had to move out of the way.
Yes.
And that was really
that's
hard.
not Aaron Pierce.
No.
But now you've got the feel of what it's like to finish that race again, so you're ready to do all 500 laps, right?
Yeah, we're ready to do all 500 laps. We've got the same pit crew we always have. That they always do an awesome job, and I gotta thank Evan Jackson for all the work he puts in. That guy, he just doesn't stop. We built our own car and our own engine this year for some of the wing stuff, and he built a car and an engine, and we were testing from October 18th to November 9th. He started building the car on October 18th. We were testing November 9th at Winchester, and he did the car, the engine, the body, everything. And we all helped him out, but he's a really good fabricator. He's learned to run a pedal block machine. It's a triple axle CNC. He learned to do that in 3 weeks. I just can't say enough about him. He's the best addition we've ever had in our race team. And I worked around a lot of guys in the time that I've raced for 20 years, and he is the slickest guy that I've ever been around as far as being able to do anything.
Well, he can relate to it because he was in the seat.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. You know what? I'm not letting up on him about driving a sprint car.
I haven't seen that yet.
Well, you're probably going to, because
that'd be cool.
He keeps putting me to the side when I asked him when he's going to run, and he said, "Well, they don't make a seat my size. I'm too tall. I'm too." He's just making excuses. So I hope he's listening.
There you go.
And hopefully we can do that. We're going to run the Silver Crown Series again, the Hoosier 100. My dad really likes the Silver Crown Series. It's come a long way. They had 40 cars at DuQuoin. They had 38 cars at New York. They had quite a good field at IRP. And, everything's just moving ahead. If we can get the two wing series on the same page.
We're getting closer.
I hope so.
Yeah,
but,
me too.
You got to do that too, and the car count will go up with those guys too. As long as we can keep trying to move pavement racing forward, I know you try to do the best you can, Rick, and, just like I was talking to you earlier about the Glen Nibel, anybody I can think about getting a hold of and trying to get down, I'll definitely try to do, but I can't say enough about what you do for racing and everything else.
Well, I appreciate it, Aaron. We're up against the clock, but I appreciate it, and I know we're going to be talking to you before May 28th gets here. So good luck down in Kentucky, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay, Rick. Thank you guys for having me on.
All right. Thanks, Aaron.
Thanks, Aaron.
All right,
Aaron Pierce. We're going to take a real quick break here, and we'll be back with a couple of more minutes to finish out the half hour. You're listening to Anderson Speedway's Track Talk.
Heart attack, stroke, serious injury. A sudden health crisis can happen to anyone at any time. So when bad things happen, choose good people. St. Vincent Anderson Regional Hospital has the area's most advanced emergency care, with a state-designated Level 3 trauma center, an internationally accredited chest pain center for heart attack patients, and advanced certification for primary stroke care. We have all the resources to deliver the care you need for any serious or life-threatening emergency. St. Vincent Anderson Regional is the only emergency department in the area with an on-site helicopter And our $27 million state-of-the-art surgery pavilion opens later this year. Bad things can happen to anyone. Thankfully, good people are ready to help. Choose emergency care from St. Vincent Anderson Regional, the spirit of caring. Visit stvincent.org/Anderson Regional to learn more.
MoFab Incorporated, where imagination is the only limitation. We serve residential, commercial, industrial, and municipal customers as your metals warehouse and fabrication center. We do all types of fabrication using the latest technology with unmatched speed, accuracy, and durability on any substrate. Our ornamental division handles all types of interior and exterior work, including rails, fences, gates, and more. So contact us at mofabbing.com to fabricate your dreams of tomorrow today.
This program is a presentation by Anderson Speedway. The content contained in this program is that of the host and guests, and not this station.
Come on, tell me what it is.
Bad Company, Rock and Roll Fantasy. How you like them apples?
Well, I was just waiting because I know you already knew.
How did I already know that?
Because he told you before I got
He
here.
did not tell me who that was. He did not. So what do you think about that? That's what I love that.
So I have to say I'm sorry on the radio.
That's Chicago. They're actually going to be at the Clips Music Center this summer. So it'd be neat to go see them, but
yes.
I think we got a race or something going on.
Probably.
Anyway, want to remind everybody this Saturday afternoon, pit gates open at noon. We will practice from 1 to 4, and we should have a lot of cars out there again. Going to need your jacket this weekend, unlike last week, but it's not going to be freezing cold.
No, we'll be good.
Come out and enjoy the practice session, see a lot of cars, and socialize with everybody. Again, if you're not going in the pits, it doesn't cost a thing. You can just walk in the pit gates, and they'll direct you up to the pit bleachers. And then a week from Saturday is opening night at Anderson Speedway. Special race time at 6 o'clock. The first 2 weekends we start at 6 o'clock just to give Mother Nature a little time to catch up.
That's right.
It'll still be daylight, hopefully, when we're finished, so that's a good thing, too. But we'll have the McGonigal engine late models, the Markham Welding Pro Compacts, Fast Carts, and Thunder Cars, their first appearance of the year. May take a few weeks to get those built up, but we're working on cars, and there's been a lot of interest in it. Talking to Jeff Chu, a lot of cars being built. We had a figure 8 car out there Saturday, too, didn't we?
Yes.
So, and getting a real good response
on
figure 8 cars this year. So it could be a really good national crown.
Some of the old timers that we used to watch in figure 8 cars from past, I think, are getting some cars built. So you're going to see some familiar names back in figure 8 racing.
And again, if you haven't already renewed your Payless Little 500 ticket orders, get that done as soon as you can. They are going. A lot of what we're finding this year, a lot of our current ticket holders are increasing their ticket
really?
numbers. So want to make sure you get them in. We've only got a few more weeks before you can hold the same seats from last year, but they are going rapidly, and it's going to be a huge event, and for not only the track but also for the city of Anderson.
Yes.
We've used up our 30 minutes.
We have.
We're going to step aside and let the next folks come in here and use the microphone. For Gary Mong, I'm Rick Dawson. We really appreciate you spending the time with us, and we look forward to seeing you same time, same stations next week. So long, and we will see you at the track.
Tune in next Tuesday night for another edition of Anderson Speedway's Track Talk on News Talk 1240 WHBU and the new 103.7 FM, and on Muncie's Sports Station 102.9 FM and 1340 AM. And for more information on Anderson Speedway, go to andersonspeedway.com.